welcome back. My name is Morgan. This is my channel, Pisces Paperbacks, and today we're going to be doing the Cozy Autumn book tag, but with all books that I have not mentioned in my last few videos, because I feel like there were a couple repeats in there, and I specifically picked everything out already so that I would not have any doubles from the books that I've already mentioned in like my last couple like recommendation or like fall themed videos. This tag was created by the Book Bell, and I'll be linking her original video in the description box, and I've just been watching everybody's videos and they look so fun and I just wanted to be included, so here we are. The first question is, what book always reminds you of fall? And for me, I'm going to choose A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So this book follows a witch named Diana, and she discovers an enchanted book in the libraries at Oxford University, and then realizes that a lot of magical creatures are willing to hurt her to get their hands on this book. So she kind of gets into like a little partnership with a vampire named Matthew, and they get involved in this conspiracy, and there's like lots of stuff going on. I'm gonna be honest, I thought this book was like pretty good. I gave it 4 stars, but this is also one of like the very first books I've read at the beginning of my like I'm reading again moment. So I don't know if I'd rate it the same now, and I really didn't like the second book, and the third book was like fine, but I loved the TV show. So I'm specifically, what reminds you of fall? This, but also don't just watch the TV show. The TV show is like that perfect kind of like cheesy, good, bad, ridiculous, like low quality special effects, but like so good. I love the show. I watched the entire show in like one night, and it's like 10 episodes, so good. The next question is, what is your favorite autumnal book cover? And I'm gonna choose Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power, despite the fact that I have not read this book yet. This is just like the one that immediately comes to mind for me, and I just like the colors and the corn. For some reason, corn, very autumnal. I work at like a garden center, and we're selling corn stalks to people like as decoration for them to put up in their yards. So like like corn connection there. It's so beautiful. This book, I believe, is about a girl, and she grows up and it's just her and her mom, and she wants to learn a little bit more about her family history. So when she figures out the name of her mom's hometown, she goes there and gets, I think she gets a little more than she was ready for. So I'm very excited to read this one, hopefully before the end of the year, but who knows, I'm so lazy. The next question is, what is your favorite autumnal drink to have while you read? And I'm so basic, I'm just gonna say tea. I don't even make tea that often. Mostly I just drink water, but I love tea. I love black tea with honey. Sometimes I put in milk, but usually it's just like tea and honey, and it's like so good, delicious. I also don't really like drinking very hot liquids, so I let them cool down a little, and then by the time I remember them, they're like almost cold, and I'm like, oh, okay. But generally tea. I do love hot chocolate, but that's more of like a special occasion thing. I just don't make it that often, and I don't really drink coffee. It gives me a headache, unfortunately. Despite how delicious cold brew is, it gives me a headache. Question number 4 is, do you prefer to read early in the morning or late at night? And I read at night. I don't read in the morning. Today, I literally had the day off. I had the entire morning available to me. I didn't get out of bed, and I did not even once think about opening a book. I was like, this is my free morning. I only read in the afternoon and at night, and I just like don't like to do anything in the morning. I don't like the mornings. Question number 5 is, Halloween is coming. What's your favorite spooky read? And I've mentioned a lot of like horror or more Halloween spooky themed books in my fall recommendations video, so I will just link that above. But if I'm not going with anything in that video, I'm gonna have to say Bunny by Mona Awad. I loved this book. This book is, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically about this girl, Sam, and she's in this really pretentious like master's program at this almost a parody of a liberal arts school, and she kind of gets involved with like, is it a cult? What are they doing? Don't really know. It's just very weird, and I'm specifically picking this because it is technically horror, but also like fall dark academia kind of energy that it gives. I just think this is so weird and so fun, and I loved it so much. It's a very interesting writing style, so if you pick it up and you're like immediately, no, I don't like this, then it might not be the book for you. But if you pick it up and you're like, I'm intrigued, then I definitely recommend you keep going because it gets even weirder. Number 6 is, what is your ultimate comfort read? And for me, that is 100% historical romance. As you can see from my beautiful historical romance and some paranormal romances up there too collection, but two that I specifically want to mention are To Seduce a Sinner by Elizabeth Hoyt and Rendezvous by Amanda Quick. So this is the first romance novel I ever read, and it is still one of my favorites. I just love it. She does a lot of the same tropes in like all of her books, but this was like the one that I was like, yes, yes. But it's very opposites attract. He's a big, strong, stoic man looking for a woman to be like a perfect wife, and she's very like outgoing and ridiculous and doesn't care, just loves being herself, and they end up being perfect for each other. But Amanda Quick also does kind of like a romantic suspense thing in all of her books where there's always some sort of murder or mystery subplot that is like the pull through the entire novel. So I love this book so much. And then To Seduce a Sinner is really interesting. It's about a man who's a rake. So he has a reputation of being not the most upstanding person. So when he's stood up at the altar and a young woman offers to marry him the next day, he's like, sure, I'll take you up on the offer. But then he's like, my new wife, so mysterious. I don't know anything about her. I need to learn who she is as a person. And they just fall in love. And this has some really interesting tropes that I don't usually see in historical romance. And I love it. If you're looking for a romance, historical romance specifically, where the heroine is not a virgin, this is a good one to pick up because I think it's handled so wonderfully. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite autumnal reading snack? So I do read while I eat. I have no problem with that, but I don't really think of snacks as like seasonal things. So I was like, I don't know, Cheez-Its. But if we're gonna go with just what's my favorite kind of autumn snack, I really like pumpkin bread. I made it a couple times last year and I was like, this is really good. I should have this more often. And I also like sea salt caramel flavored things, which I don't really see like sea salt. It's kind of like a summery thing, but I guess caramel is like more of a fall thing, so it shows up in the fall more. But anything that's sea salt caramel flavored, I'm like, yes, give it to me now. Question number 8 is, what is your favorite autumnal candle? And hot take, I don't really like candles. I don't buy them. I like to sniff them. I don't like to buy them and then light them. They smell like something's burning all the time to me, and I know something is burning, but it doesn't smell good. And my sister just got into incense, and it's stinking up the upstairs of our house, and I'm not loving it, but I'm putting up with it because I love her, and I want her to enjoy her hobbies. But I'm not really like a scents kind of girl. And even if I did buy candles, I really err on the side of like clean, fresh scents. I don't like sweet scents, so candy, cinnamon, not really it for me, sorry. Question number 9 is, when you're not reading, what is your favorite autumnal activity? And again, I work at a garden center, so I stare at pumpkins all day and I never get tired of it. So just imagining what pumpkins I would buy if I had like unlimited money is like number 1. And then number 2 is just like thinking about the horror movies I want to watch, because I never actually get around to watching them because I like watching them with people, but only when I'm in like the perfect mood. And how do you know when you're in the perfect mood unless you start watching the horror movie? You don't. So thinking about watching horror movies is probably number 2. And question number 10, the last question, is, what is on your fall reading list? Generally, I have not been making TBRs. I've been just like reading what comes to me on Libby, like out of my holds, and then like just picking up literally whatever I want when the mood strikes. But 2 books that I am thinking about maybe reading soon. One, I need to finish the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I started this in July. I read 95 pages. I was liking it. I got to a scene that made me a little uncomfortable. I put it down and I haven't picked it back up. And I want to. I don't know why I haven't. So this is a book I really want to finish this year, preferably in October this month, because it's a vampire book. It's seasonal. It's perfect for the mood. And then I also want to read Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. This is like Victorian detective mystery novel with like a sprinkling of kind of this magical element. So I'm really excited for this. I don't know what it is about the cover, or maybe it's just like the font, but this feels very like warm, cozy blanket in cold weather book to me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but this is something else that I'd really like to read. I think maybe in December, but before the end of the year. And then I wasn't going to mention it because I don't actually have any plans to read this, but in the beginning of the year, or maybe it was the mid-year book freakout, I was like, the question was, what book do you want to read before the end of the year? And I was like, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, because I bought it and I want to read it before I'm like not excited about it anymore. That excitement is just gone. I don't know where it went. Midnight Sun took all of it, and I just like, I want to read that this year, but like, do I? I don't know, I have to think about that one. Alright, that is going to be everything in the tag. I really thought this was really fun, and if you want to do the tag, you should definitely do it. I don't know if people like actually tag people in tags anymore, or if everybody just sees everybody else doing it and they're like, I want to do it too, because that's what I did. But if you want to do it, please, and I'll watch it. I love these things. So I will see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoy. Bye!